Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. How are you? Happy Monday. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. Oh, I should have shaved. Why didn't I shave? Why didn't you guys tell me to shave? Lighting setup is a little different this week. It's a little different. I gotta say, it's still weird going live without any music to play me in. It's unsettling. Maybe not for you. I watch these back once in a while and I don't hear the music that I have blaring. I don't know if I have the gain not up enough on the microphone. I don't know. But for me, it makes a whole big difference in the psychology of the approach to the microphone. With music, it feels like there's something building. It's like, oh, he's getting played on instead of he's played himself. Anyway, so welcome to Monday. Your Monday is probably well and truly almost over, but I'm welcoming you to the best part of Monday, and that is the part where you no longer need to think. Like if you're here and you're thinking, I'm doing something wrong. So hello, Mark, Nick, Russell. Good to see you guys. Zach, who's flying back to Atlanta. So you will catch us on the replay. So everybody save your best comments for tonight for when Zach can read them. Mike's here. Good to see you. Phil's here. Good to see you. Kevin insisted. We did a book swap. I got my number 5s for the 2 screenplays from Fracassi, and Kevin got the number 5. So he was kind enough because 5 was my Fracassi number, whatever. And he was really a saint in switching to make sure I got my 5, and I gave him his chapbook at the fest, but I didn't give him the 2 screenplays. So I sent him the 2 screenplays. He's like, hey, you know what? I went through a lot of trouble for you to get you the number 5. The least you could do is give me a Richard Chismar book plate. So I had to hunt one down, but Nick helped me out at the fest, gave me some Richard Chismar book plates. So I was able to send him his 2 screenplays and the Chismar book plate. I was happy to do that. I'm glad it arrived safe. Patty, hello, Patty. Ron's here. First live stream in about 6 weeks. The move from Washington State to Arizona State. See, you don't have to say state when you say Arizona, because I don't think there's any other Arizona. Played havoc with my free time. It will. Oh, dear. Especially when you got to move a library and all that stuff. I know. Trust me. I know. Much more and longer than I would have ever imagined. Glad to be back this week. I'm glad you're back. We got a lot of books I'm excited for that are all like hatching right around the same time. A lot of them are Earthling books. So Paul Miller, you're doing it. You're doing it up, Paul Miller. But there's also another release tomorrow. Happy release day to Jason Pargin. Pardon me. Pargin. Number 1's here. Good to see you. Eric with an H. Hey, Jeff just finished Box of Doom. Pargin. And it was fantastic. Also, Nick Cave's new album is good. I don't think I've ever heard a Nick Cave song. I heard the name. I know that is someone I should respect and listen to. But I don't think I ever have. I'll treasure it forever. Well, I'm glad you will. We may be moving to Washington State in the future. Oh, wow. I've never been. I've never been to Oregon, Washington, California. Never been to any of our beautiful West Coast states. Let me open this. I'm sorry. I'm distracting myself with this milk stout. Milk stout, Left Hand Brewery. Made up a jingle that really wasn't a jingle. So that's this. I'm glad you thought, Eric, I'm glad you thought that was a fantastic book. I'm going to talk about that. Release day is tomorrow. Release day. Mitch is here. Mitch, I got news for Mitch fans. Speaking of being gone, did you get a new phone camera? The video looks really sharp. Oh, that is new lighting. I did new lighting. It's like been ages since I even made an effort, like I had to make an effort and I did. So it's new lighting. I'm no glare on the thing. There's lighting behind me, there's lighting around me. Yeah, I'm catching up to the world. I also messed around with the gain on the microphone to try to get I just realized when you said the video looks really sharp tonight, maybe that's not the direction a 52-year-old man should be going. Maybe a little blurry. Maybe I need to wipe some Vaseline on the lens, give it that Baba Wawa effect. I don't know. But I guess that would mean I'd care. So what's going on? What'd you say? Thanks, Mark. Oh, Mark, did I not say hi to Mark? Mark Kenefick. Yes, I didn't. I don't think I said hi to you, Mark. Glad to see you're here. Yeah, the lighting is cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. Alexia is here. Now we can start. Good evening, Christopher. Christopher's here, just finishing How the Skin Sheds. Nice family story. Yes, it's a family story about family, activities and revenge. Any questions regarding Washington, Kevin? Let me know. We lived there for 35 years. Oh, Washington. Yeah, I mean, there's Seattle, there's Portland. You've moved further away from Tyler Jones. So I don't know if that was very wise. I moved to the Chattanooga area. So Jeff Strand and Lynn Hansen were married. That's what happens when two people love each other very much. And they moved to Chattanooga. And then I moved to Chattanooga, and that's when Jeff Strand left Lynn and moved to Minneapolis. So I was like for a little bit close to an author geographically. And I had the same first name as said author. And he's like, no, this ain't going to work. So he moved. Hello, Dave. Good to see you. Greeting and salutations, friends. Someone call the cops. Jeff is currently murdering my fantasy squad. What are we at, Stephen Dwayne Elson Jr.? I know I have no players left. I'm done. It wasn't so much that I won, but you lost. That's like I didn't win. I did okay. I did 113 points. You're projected at your best to get 72 points. And your quarterback's doing okay. It's always good news when the quarterback starts, when a player is playing and the projections turn green, which means you're going to do better than expected. But you're still sitting at 49 points. So I did okay. Mitch, my friends and I enjoyed some of that delicious beer over the weekend while playing Uno. Nice. You played Uno late into the night. Lots of draw twos, reverse, Uno reverse. All the kids talk about the Uno reverse card. Yes, I will. Thank you. We lived in Bothell for about a year. Bothell. Sounds like a brothel. Congratulations. I lived in the Seattle area for a decade. You are a Seattle. You got that Seattle vibe, Stephen Dwayne Elson Jr. Totally do. Good evening. Picture is very bright and clear tonight. Thank you. That is what lighting does. When, I hired Zach from Zach's Books to come in. That's a good clip right there. To get him to tell me how to light the room. And I flew him in here, and his consulting fee was just get him away from Stage Mom Wife. That was what he charged me. I said, I could do that. I'm debating about Frankenstein. Yes, got a Frank. Anyone else got Frankenstein? Tim's here. Hi, Tim. Tim's been doing the reviews of the McCammon books. And I'm like, I was going to do the reviews, but now that he did them, I don't think I need to do them because he did them, you know. So I'm debating about Frankenstein. I went to the Centipede Press website to see if the book was listed, you know, available, showing, because I would like to at least see it, but I can't get Frankenstein. I can't. I won't. I don't even know what it costs. I heard it's huge, and I know a lot of people are on the fence. I got smoked in fantasy this week. Did you, Mitch? Who smoked you? Who smoked you? I haven't looked at all the matchups for the league. So view all matchups. No. We're going there. Where are we at? Got that chiz riz. Oh, you got slapped around by my brother-in-law. He slapped you around, Mitch. I should tell him you shouldn't beat children. I'm actually winning in both my leagues. Kudos. I never knew that Mario Puzo lived a few miles from me. Only found out after he passed away. Now he's buried a few miles from me. See what happens when they don't tell you? They bury you. When you don't tell Phil something, they'll bury you. Seattle is 3-0. Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, well, Tennessee is 0-3. We suck. I brought the Bears curse to Tennessee. Don't don't tell Tennessee. I said I don't want to talk about it. Mr. Weapon 10 is here. Mr. Weapon 10. Freaking love Uno. Who doesn't love Uno? Thank you, Jay Stones. Is that Eric Clapton? You look wonderful tonight. Oh, we played Uno Flip, where you flip the cards over and it's totally different colors on the other side. That's hard. The Uno Flip I played. Then there's Uno Attack, where it like spits the cards at you. So many variations. The lighting is too good, I think. You look like you have more gray in your hairs in your beard than I do. Yes. I also haven't shaved or trimmed my beard in so long. I go through these phases where I'll trim it and then I'll be like, but I had that Kenny Rogers thing going on. Why didn't I keep it? And then I'm like, you know, why do I want to look like Kenny Rogers? And then I'm always confused. And then I walk away from the mirror and then my reflection keeps yelling, hey, don't walk away. And I just keep going. Manos is here. Good to see you. I meant to reply to your email. I'm so bad. I haven't followed up on comments, emails. I apologize. $4.95 for Frankenstein, but it's the Bernie Wrightson art. A lot of people got Frank. New York Jets, 2-1. Long-suffering Jets fan. Well, it sounds like your suffering's over. Yes, we're going to talk about Night on Long Knives. No authors near me that I know of, but all the crime authors hit Poison Pen Bookstore on their tours. And Paul of Thunderstorm is just down the proverbial street. My books from him arrive in a day. Nice. Why don't you just go pick them up? Save on shipping. Bentley Little's in Arizona. So there's that. I bought Frankenstein immediately. I just like seeing it. I ordered Frankenstein, but I think it's too tall. 15 inches is too big. I'd agree, Tim. Josh Mellerman and Chad Lutsky live near me. Now, Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr., that is a great place to be. We need to get Philip Fracassi out of LA, but he won't. You posted about haunted house stories in your channel a while ago. What did I do? Now I'm upset. Now I'm missing something. Haunted house stories. Oh, yes. Well, I don't know if you're talking about Suicide Letters to My Son, which I wrote and I posted. Jeff, your Vols embarrassed my Sooners on Saturday. Go Vols. When I moved here, the Vols played the Crimson Tide, and they hadn't beaten Alabama in like the last 15 games. But when I moved here, they did finally. They broke a long streak. The Vols, go Vols. I've never heard of episode 13. Okay, you guys are talking about that. I don't like to. If people are having a private conversation, I kind of let it go. It's just a little thing. I believe Jared will put Frankenstein out for general sale next week. He just did the email for people who were on early interest. Yeah, I know. Sometimes, though, he has the tile up. You can see the book. But, yeah, I can see why he wouldn't do that. I didn't want to get on the wait list. I am more curious about Alice in Wonderland with the Salvador Dali art. Mostly that's just for producer Jill. Because she showed interest. She's like, I kind of like that. So I'm like, I'm thinking. But then it's the issue. Does it go on her shelf or on mine? You know what I'm saying? I would go on her shelf. That's where it would go. I think. If it's Alice in Wonderland, yeah. I have an earlier edition of Frankenstein from Centipede. So passed on the new one. Go Vols, class of 87 here. Wow, I graduated high school in 90. You were out of college in 87. Nice. I think Mitch would call that a distinguished look, Jeff. He might, but he's getting the grays. So I think he's kind of like feeling his age now. Mitch is like having 2 kids. He's got a brewery and a publishing house. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that tonight. I mean, if you're on the live and you see my description, most of the time, well, almost none of the time, but tonight I went and I updated the description to have relevant links to the things I want to talk about. So Rapture Publishing, Rapture Brewing, 2 kids, and he's employed. He's got a W-2. He's a busy guy, so he's going to get the grays. He's going to get them. I don't know why it goes gray the way it does. I don't know. It's like I kind of like tell myself I'm Negan. So I go and I do that. And then I go, little pig, little pig. Those were the good days of Rick and Negan, man. Those were the good days of Walking Dead. Don't get me started. Sorry, Jeff. I was talking to Tim about a haunted house books. Oh, okay. I'm being rude. No, you're not. I'm kidding. I just don't want to miss anything. The only author by me is William Kennedy. Can we talk about the new Levidian announcement? Hold on. I've got 50 pages. Hold on. I think, Jeff, you didn't take the Bears curse with you. It's still in Chicago. Yeah, but they beat Tennessee the very first game of the season. God, that hurts. I've got 50 pages left to go. Night Along Knives. It's so good. It's amazing. That's a great book. And you're gonna, man, that ending, you're gonna feel a bunch of things at the end of that. You're gonna feel a bunch of things. That goes on sale tomorrow. Let me just get you guys excited, because you know what? We're not supposed to judge a book by the cover, but here's the book. I learned my lesson with Beach Boys. Here's the book. Now, it goes on sale tomorrow. It's up for sale tomorrow. I think there are only 500 copies. I'm going to need one, so there's 499 copies. It's going to go on the shelf next to Midas. I've already read it. It's a great book. I actually read an earlier version than this. So I'd have to see if he said F you, Jeff, to any of the changes I recommended. Screw that jerk. Which would be flattering, because then I would be called out in the book. You see? So it's not the insult you think it is, Tyler. So I can't wait to read it again in the finished form. So there's that. Night Along Knives on sale tomorrow. I got to say, I said this before, I thought the concept for the cover wasn't good when I heard about it. I'm like, oh, that's okay. That's going to be fine. It doesn't matter. It's your name and it's your title. But then when I saw the cover, I'm like, oh, that's genius. I love it. Love it, love it. So This is going to be up for sale tomorrow, and I recommend you all get it. I don't know why you wouldn't. Or I mean, you might have inflation to deal. Like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not no pressure. I'm not a bully. You're gonna want it though. You're gonna want it. Going to the game on Sunday. Oh, nice. Let's see. Yes, we can't. We are going to talk about the Levidian announcement, but I don't know. My beard 3 years ago was fully brown, and it was probably like a downy pillow, right? It was like, I don't know. My entire beard is that color. Getting old, man. It's getting old. No authors near me. Artist Charles Vest lives in nearby Abington, and artist Rob Wood was born here. Rob Wood's fantastic. I definitely want Alice in Wonderland from CP, so no money for Frankenstein. Speaking of Jared, I received Son of Endless Night, but the SIG of John Harris is almost invisible. Jared offered to swap it, but I don't know if all copies are like mine. Anyone get that book? So did you reach out to Jared and say, I don't like the SIG? Because if he's like, well, they're all like that, then yeah, there's really nothing he can do. Yes, tomorrow is the pre-order. Mitch got my gray hairs with his second kid. Thanks, man. Definitely ordering Night of the Long Knives. Yes, yes. My coworkers tell me I look like Colonel Sanders. Mitch is aging like he's my Dorian Payne. Mr. Weapon got my copy today. Same thing. It's like his pen was running out of ink. Well, yeah. So I don't know if I would exchange. I think I've gotten books where I thought the artist or the author's the artist signature is important if it's like an artist edition. But if it's an author and the book, that author's book, if the author of that book is signing the signature sheet, that's the main signature I care about. The other ones are nice bonus signatures, and I'm happy to have all of them. I love that. I'd love the more signatures, the better. I always love that. But I'm really going to be wanting to care. I'm really going to care more about that author's signature. So that's all for me to cop out on my shitty signature in the witch tree. So that's what I'm saying. You should care more about Philip's signature than mine. You should. My fair sig looks good. It's not quite as solid as the others, but pretty close. 400 copies of Night of the Long Knives after other sellers get their copies. So there'll be $3.99. Tyler messaged me this evening. He told me he was signing all the signature sheets for Night of the Long Knives with our shoppies. We brought him. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. I get to play a part in all of them. That is cool, Mike. You did the lol at the end, but that's cool. That is cool. Is Night of the Long Knives an early World War II set piece? No. So that's what I thought too. Night of the Long Knives is when Hitler killed all his adversaries, I believe, in one night, right? Something like that. I don't remember. I thought it was when they were going to kill Hitler, but it is a Hitler-related thing. Maybe I shouldn't say the H word. I don't know if I get demonetized. Whatever. It's history, and it's awful. But Night of the Long Knives was that. No, this has nothing to do with that. And I asked him about it, and he told me about it. And I'm sorry I don't have a good explanation for you. Got my copy of the Pinborough book from Earthling today. Stoked to read it. Seems like an absolute steal for $35. It is for sure. Suntup, October guesses. Yeah. I hate it when the author signs in pencil. The one Suntup poetry book looks like the signature is in pencil. It is in pencil. My Jeff Terry signature on the book plate has a fingerprint smudge. Is that real, or is that part of the thing? You know what? If you got another, I'll sign you another one. I don't know if anybody has any extras. John Harris sig is in blue pen while the other two are in sigs are white. The page is blue. Oh, and his sig is spotty. I told Jared I was cool with it if they were all like that. Okay. Actually, I learned that poets and illustrators often sign in pencil. Interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, the Charles Simic poetry book, he signed in pencil. So if you want to talk about, let's talk about a couple of things. Let's talk about the Sun Top guesses. So we were October, November, December. I have no idea what the books are. I didn't reach out to Paul to do interviews yet because I feel like I've reached out to him and I've never been able to wrangle the interviews and get it going. So I'm afraid of getting him activated and then not delivering. I feel like I'm letting down an informal obligation. So I don't want to do that, but I do want to do it. I do want to do as many interviews as possible, but time permitting and all this other stuff, I don't want to waste anybody's time. But I don't remember what the guesses were. I think one was, I thought was Lord of the Rings trilogy, but others said Gormenghast. I'm not familiar with that at all. I do know Folio did an outstanding edition with Dave McKean art that everybody loves. So Gormenghast, I don't know. Who is that? What is that? I do think the one book is Carrying Comfort. I think December is definitely Carrying Comfort from Dan Simmons because based on the clue. Oh, and I thought the first book was Ready Player One because he said, "Are you ready to go back in time?" I am ready. And to me, go back in time because it's an 80s retro thing. That would mean that would cover that. But if he wrote "I am ready," that made me think of Ready Player One. But it wouldn't be divided into 2 volumes. So I don't know what October is. I think December is Carrying Comfort. I'm almost positive. The clue he gave was Stephen King called it one of the best horror novels of the 20th century. And then he capitalized the word ability. The people in the vampires in Carrying Comfort have this thing called the ability. So, and Stephen King, the actual quote is one of the greatest horror books of the 20th century. Interestingly, it's not signed by Dan Simmons. I don't think, is Dan Simmons alive? I can look that up. Dan Simmons. I thought he was alive, but he's not signing. Yeah, is an American science fiction and horror writer. Now, is it because he's like been canceled for his views? I don't know, but I don't think it was signed. December is Carrying Comfort, yes. Outlander, Gormenghast, and Carrying Comfort. I don't know what Outlander is. I think I know November's book. One book sounds like Ghost Story. Dan Simmons and Suntup, take my money now. I'm going to get it. I've never read Dan Simmons, but I would get the artist edition. Oh, if it's Ready Player One, I'll be stoked as hell. Yeah, but they're not going to divide that into 2 volumes. It's a thin book. I mean, it's not a thin book, but it's not a bulky book. Unless he does Ready Player One and Ready Player Two. But why would you do that? I don't know. But what's Outlander? I don't know what Outlander is. Folio announced a limited edition of the Hobbit. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, that'd be awesome if it was Lord of the Rings. That's what I thought. But everybody is so sure it's Gormenghast. That who wrote Gormenghast? Who wrote it? Everybody just refers to it as Gormenghast. Like not Gormenghast by somebody. It's not like Horns by Joe Hill or Carrying Comfort by Dan Simmons. Gormenghast. If it's Outlander, I'll buy it. I love that series. I didn't get American Gods, so that's $295 I didn't spend this month. American Gods is hanging in there at 112 available right now. Yeah, it's been hanging like so. It's like over 100 copies are available of that artist edition. So, will it stop there? I thought it would sell out by now because it sold. That number went like that. Boop, boop, out, gone. The lettered or numbered of December is signed by the author, just not the classic. Okay. I didn't notice that. Okay. So yeah, Dane Simmons. Tim probably has the correct guesses. The art edition is published as a single volume and is signed by the artist. The lettered and numbered editions are printed as 2 volumes and are signed by the author and artist. Okay. Huh. I sadly passed on American Gods and purchased a $400 Ironheart flannel shirt. $400 Ironheart flannel shirt? I'm not sure about that. Gorman Goss is by Mervyn Peake. Outlander is Diana Gabaldon. How have I never heard of that? Jay Stones, you'll never regret that call. I folded and bought a copy of American Gods. Never read it, but interested. Yeah, I read, like I said, I read Neverwhere, and I thought Never Again. I just did not care for it. I don't remember why. I got the paperback. I read it, and I'm like, what is this bullshit? It's this guy who lives below London. He lives in the sewers. I don't give a shit about him. And I tried. Just didn't care. Mervyn Peake wrote it, and the time range it was published fits the books. Yeah. Great newsletter this week. Appreciate your stance on the threads about Gaiman. Yeah, like I said, I'm somebody like how you make your argument makes all the difference to me. If you just tell me shut up and think what I think, no. I mean, and I think that's how I saw that one side of the argument. Everybody was screaming. Like, do you realize some people might love these books and are maybe doing logistical or logic gymnastics in their brain to justify having that book? That I could see you argue against. You could say, well, but don't you feel awful? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, I don't care. The person wrote a great book. I love the book. And then you could have a debate. But if you're like, you are a predator, like once you start to get on that high horse and start to think you have the moral superiority over somebody else with a different opinion, like, okay, you're the problem now. And you lose me. Like, I don't agree with you. Even if I agree with you, it's so funny. It's like, now I don't want to agree with you. If you tell me I can't have another opinion, then I will try to have that other opinion. I will do what I can to have that other opinion. It's reverse psychology on Beef Daddy. I get it. But so it got ugly, and I didn't want it. Somebody's like, please tell me exactly where I was disrespectful. And I was in a thread. I took the whole thread down. So it took a lot of comments with it. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't take yours down, but that was an open door, and people were going in there and they were having a mosh pit. So I just close the club. Not that the discussion isn't valuable, but when you start telling people that they are animals and monsters, okay, now we've gone across the line, and it's just not like, and there was a lot of great discussion about it. I'm glad. I am relieved. I'm not a Gaiman fan. So happy. And like I said, all these books behind me by all these authors, I am terrified. I got a whole stack of Stephen King books. I am terrified that some shit's going to come out about that guy. And I'm going to be looking at these books and seeing like a number of, like, seeing instead of Stephen King, but the equivalent of Bill Cosby looking back at me. Like you killed me. Like you broke my heart. You were an animal. Like you did horrible things. Now I cannot look at you. When I used to get so much joy from his comedy. He was hilarious. And it was like from my youth, my little teeny tiny Mitch days. And I was so, he's like America's dad. And so like if I had to look at that and have that equivalent of a feeling, I couldn't do it. So yes, I am selfishly happy I dodged a moral decision or a whole thing. But not to say that anybody who got the books is wrong. Because none of us are in the courtroom. None of us know exactly what happened. And if you like the book and you like that author, I mean, if you like the story, I'm not here to judge. So anyway, Outlander is a time travel romance series. Oh, really? I don't think I would ever read that, but I bought American Gods, but didn't spend the $175 on the paperweight. It looks great, but not $175 great. Jared's knocked it out of the park with his recent books. Can't wait for his schedule next week. Yeah, I can't wait also, but my wallet is very afraid. I know it's too much, man. It's too much. Passed on American Gods, couldn't pass on Frankenstein. You got to say it like that guy in Rammstein, who is also an animal. He's a predator, from what I know. He's being sued. There are no heroes. You gotta pick your art and just enjoy the art and just blah la la. I cannot know all this other stuff because sooner or later you're all garbage humans. And I just love this song. I love this book. I love this movie. Like you can't watch a Roman Polanski movie. You just can't. Diddy just ruined all that great music. I'm glad I'm not a Diddy fan. It's all a big mess. Had Stephen Dwayne Allison Jones Jr. had a marvelous post about a good many notable authors with some skeletons. Did he? I didn't see that anywhere. I kind of wanted the paperweight, but the $175 is too much for me too. I decided I was never going to read American Gods again and didn't need it. Yeah. Whatever, Jeff. Go watch the Cosby Show and eat a pudding. Oh man, that was a double whammy. I can't do that. I shouldn't have read that. It's triggering. I felt American Gods was Gaiman's worst book. Well written, but not my flavor. Man, American Gods numbered, sold out in less than 4 minutes. It went with a quickness, which I was a little surprised, but it's a beautiful book. I think it was you. I'll never be able to find it now. Yeah, you got to cough that up. You can't watch a Miramax film, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, I know. And I don't want to get in all of that. Really, I don't want to get in all that because everybody has an opinion and nobody else was in the room. It's like I've always been somebody who's jumped the gun and come to some like knee-jerk reaction conclusion, and then new information comes out, and then I feel bad. And then new information comes out after that, and I feel even stupider. And on down the line, I think it's like we all have a channel, whether you have a YouTube channel or whether you have an Instagram page or Facebook, and we all have an opinion. We all have a means to promote that opinion. And I've put my foot in my mouth more often than not. And I won't do it. I just won't do it. I mean, if there was time for a big, long discussion, if we were on a podcast that just talked about this entire thing and it was all dedicated to that and it was a panel and there were other people to bounce what ifs off of, then we could define what is a crime and what is just a poor moral decision. And we could have an adult conversation. But I don't think adult conversation is possible on majority of social media. So Sounds like me, so I'll take your word for it. Diddy, monster or misunderstood? Jeez, I gotta learn. I cannot read your comments, Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. I think Hemingway was one of the authors. He was problematic. Every time I see Frankenstein mentioned, I'm waiting for someone to say, Frau Blucher. $502 for Frankenstein makes it the most expensive centipede for me. It hurt, but that artwork and size make it worth it. I'm a huge fan of the story. I've heard other people. One friend of the channel, Philip Fracassi, said, favorite author, favorite book, favorite artist, favorite publisher. Had to do it. I may be paraphrasing, but you're in good company with Philip Fracassi. Jeff is censoring me. You all saw it. I'm stomping all over your First Amendment, Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. Yes, I am. I just kid. Some of these things I don't want to say. They don't age well. You know, it's like talk about a snowflake. I've got to finish out the Dune series, so money is tight. Yeah, I mean, you got to pick and choose. I do know that Alice in Wonderland's not going to be that expensive as these other ones. So if you're counting pennies, you're looking at budgets and going forward. Yeah, it's if you're on there for that. My bad, it was 503. 503 because Mark was pissed. I paid 503. Someone owes me $1. Jeff, did you ever finish Dune? Man, I was hoping to move past that. No, I did not ever finish Dune. I do know where I'm at, right? Jessica and Paul are walking around. They had the knife fight. I'm somewhere in the dunes, the planet Araxis. I'm there. I'm stuck there. I'm further along than producer Jill. Let's put it that way. It's shameful. I know. And I've got like, okay, so it's taking me forever to get through Family. And I'm going to finish it. Family. This is available for ordering. I got to a very interesting part in Family where the girl, the daughter is talking about being punk and being punk AF. It gave me some thoughts. You know what? I don't think I'm going to go into it too much, but I thought it was interesting how a kid in 2024, now I'm not in high school in 2024. I don't know what it's like, but I don't think it's the same as it was when I was in high school. When you talk about homophobia in particular, she's talking about how brave it is to be part of that community, the LGBTQ plus community. And I don't think it has the same stigma as it did when I was a kid. Like it really was a lot harder for people in that community to be themselves. Like it really, I mean, it was a problem. There were a lot of issues. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm not in high school, but it doesn't seem culturally like that is something that is punitive in high school. Maybe it is. I don't know. But as somebody who's on the outside of both that community and high school, reading that kind of like, are you going against convention? There are some families that are going to be problematic, but as a culture, as a society, as a system, as the public school system, I don't think you're going to be vilified or subject to ridicule. So it was kind of jarring to me. And I thought, and it just made me think of like, what would be punk AF now? What would be anti-establishment rebellion now? It's an interesting thing to think about. Like, what would be something where you're totally thumbing your nose at authority? The only thing I could think of is not taking the COVID-19 vaccine. That's the only thing that's like truly rebellious now. And the punk people aren't all that, like, they're all like, just get your shot now. So where's that like, are we rebellious anymore, or was that squashed? Or is it now the other side's turn to be rebellious? It's an interesting thought experiment. I'm not making a call. I'm just putting it out there. So I didn't finish Dune. My Bill of Rights starts at number 2. Remember that. Your Bill of Rights number 2 is because you need that number 1, and you keep that number 1. Dude, you are so close to the action. I know. Oh, am I? Okay. I finished the first 2 parts of Dune. We'll eventually read the third part of the book. It's been on the shelf for about a year. Totes, me too. Alice is going to be less than Frankenstein, but I would. All right, you guys. But I would like to know if Jared plans on doing Through the Looking Glass later. Okay, City Boy, ask Mitch about his gay peeps on the rural. I mean, that's a point, you know. I don't really know where family is set, but it's like a suburb. It doesn't feel isolated. It doesn't feel rural. I don't know. You know, I when I moved out here, just north of Chattanooga, and they had there's this in the area, there's this festival every year called Strawberry Fest. And the first year I went there, I'm like, okay, again, from Chicago, 50 years. I'm like, I moved here. It's much, much, much more rural than I've ever been comfortable with. Or, you know, I've never been in an environment like that. And so I was expecting Strawberry Fest to be like Christian conservative, buttoned up folks, maybe looking at me with my tattoos, like, or like, you know, you're from Chicago, we can smell it off you. You know, I didn't know what to expect going into that first fest. I'm telling you, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. There were young 20-somethings there walking around wearing spikes and leather. One person was walking another person on a leash at Strawberry Fest. Nobody batted an eye. There were people with all shades of skin color, hair color, dress, lifestyle. I mean, there just was like such a variety of people that, you know, perhaps if you walked into the fest with your preconceived notions of what it'll be, and then you see anything other than that, it seems like a shock. But it was eye-opening for me, and everybody was super friendly. It did not feel judgmental at all. And there were some of those buttoned up polo wearing, look like they just came from the boat club, you know, sort of vibe. Every single person, every single vibe. It was pretty wild. So don't judge any area until you've been there. Then you could say, all right. I gotta say, Tulsa was much hipper than I thought it would be. It was. It was a very, the parts where at least Mitch curated our contact with Tulsa and Oklahomans. It was a lot nicer than I gave it credit for in my old brain. See, and that's the problem with prejudging. You have this idea that Tulsa is going to be a dust bowl full of people at livestock auctions. Maybe it's the German auctions. They're going to sell the livestock. Here, piggy. You get this idea that everybody's chewing on a hayseed. And it was much hipper, and a lot of little Mitches running around, little hip Mitches. Anti-Swifty? Is that too rebellious? I don't know. I think depending on where you're located, it could be punk. Toxic masculinity never dies. Hold on a second. I like Dune Messiah about as much as Dune. Children went down a peg. Once I get to high school, I'll let you know how punitive it is, whatever that means. Oh man. Anti-Swifty. I don't think that's rebellious. I got my COVID booster Friday and I'm still the same jerk as always. Do you think that's keeping you as a jerk? I'm just saying, maybe you're more of a, I don't know. It's a joke. Stay healthy, Stephen Wayne Elson Jr. Jeff, your reading is more productive than mine. In the last 6 weeks, with the move, I've only read one book, and that was only because I've been asked to write the introduction for it. That is funny. I think it's probably still tough in high school, even today. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I do have kids that age. I do have a window into the, whatever. Like it's not like when I was a kid, and definitely not like when you were a kid, Mark. I was that way in my mind about the anthrax vaccine back in 99. But COVID didn't bother me like that. I'm so old it doesn't matter. I hate Kelsey. He's killing me at tight end. Ugh. To be honest, the city of Tulsa itself is pretty progressive compared to most of OK. As funny as that may sound, we are the bluest city in the state. He has been rough. Tight end is a dumpster fire, though. Tight ends are awful. My nephew's league has 3 tight ends in the starting lineup. You have to draft 3 tight ends. And there are like 16 teams. Do you know how thin the bench is? Oh, my. In that league, oh. Tulsa was doing its best. You should have yelled Strawberry Fest, leash wankers. Oh, all that damn neon. I know, but they're rocking that Route 66 vibe, you know? Yeah, we enjoyed Tulsa, except for that Mexican place. A bunch of white folks trying to cook Mexican food. That's where it could go off a cliff, you know? I love the vibe there, but we have much better Mexican food here. Next for Kasi Fest, I'll take you to the good places. So you took us to the bad place. I think you took us to the only places that were open, Mitch. Like Tulsa wrapped up like at 8:30 p.m. When we walked into that Mexican place, you remember what she said? We walked in at like 9 o'clock and she said, we close the kitchen at 10 o'clock. So get your orders in by 9:50. We're like, or was it 9:15? I don't know. It's like, whoa, way to cut into your tip already. We didn't even walk to our table. And then, yeah, Mitch, I saw that coffee place or that breakfast place shut down. They were assholes there, Mitch, at that hotel, the Campbell. What was the name of that restaurant? Restaurant is how producer Jill says it. They were curmudgeonly assholes. I couldn't believe it. And that place was empty. So we probably gave them a last gasp of a business, and they were still jerks. Tulsa was fun. The company was the best. Oh, chef's kiss. But honestly, the food could use some work. Next time Mitch is doing home-cooked meals, he said. Yeah, I know. It was the only one open. We drove from Kellyville. We were hamstrung on time. Excuses. What was the name of the Mexican place? Elote. Tulsa gives off serious St. Louis on a Sunday vibes. I love St. Louis. I'll say it one more time. I love St. Louis. The toast. That was the toast. Bye-bye. Doesn't matter now. Yeah, we ate there both mornings, and they were kind of rude both mornings, and now they're out of business. BJF did justice to horns. The book is gorge. Can't wait for Nosferatu. So, yeah, I didn't get horns. I have heart-shaped box, 20th Century Ghosts, and I passed on Horns. So now I have to pass on Nosferatu, even though I shouldn't, because I don't have that book. I don't have a copy of that. I have the Suntop Horns, so I passed on Horns from Levidian because I knew he'd have no problem selling it out. I don't read Joe Hill. Like, I read Horns already because Suntop did it. I liked it. I read Fawn. I liked it. But nothing Joe Hill has written has been like, oh my God, I got to devour everything he writes. So I didn't get it because, again, bind freeze at the time. Would I buy it now? No. Like I said, that bind freeze sort of changed my outlook. I'm not doing impulse buys anymore. I do slip, but I'm not going to slip at $175 level. You know, I would buy, like, a slip would be a $25 book from an author I've never read. That's a slip, in my opinion, not $175. Even though I have the first two and it would look good as a set, and getting all the Levidian Joe Hill titles will look amazing. But I just can't do it. I didn't get Horns either. For some reason, I didn't see the announcement until it was gone. Oh, that's a shame. If you wanted it, that's a shame. Heart-shaped box is so good. Can't wait to get Horns tomorrow. Definitely going to read the Levidian instead of the trade. You should get it, dude. Don't do that to me, man. Don't. That's my job is to do that to you. You can't do that to me. Nosferatu is fantastic. My favorite Joe Hill by a good measure. Jeff, sell me your 20th Century Ghosts. Are you serious, Mitch? All I'm missing is 20th Century and Night Country. All right, Mitch. We'll work something out for that 20th Century Ghosts, Mitch. We'll work something out. We'll message. That would make me feel better to get a book to you that I'm not on the set. Might as well divest, and especially if you need it that badly. We'll talk. Okay, cool. Okay, that's cool. So, you want to talk about Levidian? Levidian is doing Carrie's The Legacy of Carrie. Do you want to talk about it? So this is where I got to move this over without losing any of the comments. So yeah, I can't do that. I got to do that. Okay. So we want to talk about Carrie's Legacy. Oh, that's on the Cemetery Dance. It doesn't matter. I'm looking at it on the Cemetery Dance site. I hope you're okay with that. I'm going to share my screen. And Carrie's Legacy. You ready? You ready? And here we go. Boom. There's Carrie's Legacy, revisiting Stephen King's Girl with a Frightening Power. So, okay, revisiting Stephen King's Girl with a Frightening Power. Limited edition, $150. It's coming out in the spring. It has a lot of art in it. There's a lot of art in it. There are a lot of authors in it. Philip Fricassi's in it. He wrote a piece, and I would. That's what I would. Let me just say, of the things I've seen, and there's a reason I'm just letting this picture stay up there. There is a reason. There are so many reasons to buy a book. And for this book, really, there's really only one reason for me to buy the book, and that is Philip Fricassi's essay and signature. And again, the bind freeze made me a little more stingy with my dollars. Is this a book I need? No. There's a lot. No. Especially with Richard Chismar's name on the cover. No. Let's thumb through the art. Some interesting stuff in here. A lot of art. There's a lot of art in here. And a lot of essays from a lot of authors. And a lot of art. Now, I don't know who did all the art. Some people are posting that they've done the art, and they're sharing that they did the art, and it's pretty cool. But none of these images come with photo, credit of who did the art. I do know Brooklyn Ann did this piece because she said she did on the Levidian site. This looks like Erin Wells. I don't know. I know she's in the book. I don't know who did this. It's very interesting. It's definitely Sissy Spacek. You know me, I have a problem with depicting the actors and not the characters. But I think this is a very interesting piece. A lot of people did the bucket. And I'm thinking there are more clever things to do than the bucket, but this one's a good one. Vincent Sammy, I think. No. Vincent Chong. I don't remember who did this one, but he outed himself as the artist. And this is also a very interesting one. Again, it's the bucket, the blood, the reflection, probably right in the moments before shit hits the fan. I don't know, but I think this is an interesting one. The pig blood filling the bucket. Got this one here. This is Glenn Chadbourne all day. I think it's interesting. No prom, no bucket, no blood. But the moment, you get in that blood. And then there's this one. Here's this one. This one happened. So on the author list, the table of contents is down here. You got Richard Chismar, Robin Firth, big time Stephen King person. Bev Vincent, big time Stephen King person. I don't know who Johnny Compton is. Bentley Little, Dan Franklin, CD employee. Craig Davidson, Philip Fracassi, I Am Wormwood. Most intriguing title here. Mick Garris, Tom Deedy, Poppy Z. Bright, who I thought was writing as William Martin, but Poppy Z. Bright. So anyway, Kevin Quigley, bunch of people, Caitlin Kiernan, Brian James Freeman. So that's that. I don't know if anybody else is intrigued by it. I'm going to stop sharing for now. Hey, Jason's here. Good to see you, Jason. That Patreon discount was incredible. I jumped on that baby quick. Yeah, there was a $50 discount that I missed. I get that from my Patreon tier. That's a cool one to get. You're getting a Philip Fracassi signature, I believe. Is it all signed? Is it? I don't know if it's signed by everybody. I don't remember. Signed by Brian James Freeman, Richard Chismar, and Francois. Oh, interesting. Muy interesante. So it's Brian James Freeman. So you're not even getting a Philip Fracassi signature. Interesting. So that one reason I had just got dimmed a little bit. Oh yeah, Jason is foraging for shrooms. So I ordered Carrie with the $50 discount as soon as I saw the Fracassi name attached to it. We're getting the book for free. Change of plans this week. Would love to be tripping right now. Maybe I am. I'm actually winning for fantasy football. Nice. You're beating Philip Fracassi pretty bad. So I don't know if I'd be happy about that. Yeah, Philip Fracassi's in my fantasy football league. I don't know. I just picked up the rack as well. The rack. Yeah, Philip's in there, and that's edited by Tom Dede, I believe. Johnny Compton is a very hot author right now. Wrote Spite House. Oh, I saw Spite House. I saw that name, but I didn't know Johnny Compton. I just bought a bunch of Tom Dede. This will be my first read of his. Oh, Jason. I read Haven. Did not love it. Did not finish it. And now Stephen Dwight Allison Jr. is admitting to eating mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms. Unless you bring it to the fest next year, then it gets a ciggy. You bring that to the fest, whoosh, sig on it. I'm passing on it. Interesting project. It is. I will say that. Interesting project. But something about it just doesn't quite speak to me at the moment. Yeah. We could just bring it to Fracassi Fest. Yes. Do they offer the book without Chismar's signature in it? You can white that out. You can white that out. Yeah, but Philip can sign it for you. I know a guy. Yep. Yeah, I got a copy of the rack from Tom. He signed it. Tom Dede. Jason, be careful. He hasn't spoken to me since I beat him last week. I was smart enough to lose to him in week 1. So that's interesting. Haven was a Stoker winner, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I'm not ruining it for you, Jason. I am a rare animal in that I cannot like a book. I can actually hate a book and root for others to love the book. I do. Because I don't take any joy in not liking a book. I got about halfway through Haven. And if you read Haven, let me know what you think. I think I don't know if I wrote a review for it. I didn't want to be mean. I had the book and an arc. Same thing with CJ Tudor. Same thing with Bentley Little. I don't like these authors, but I want others to like them. Or I'm not going to hold it against anybody for saying, oh, no, I dug it. I really liked it. Great. It's great. I'm actually a little jealous because I would like to enjoy more of my life than less of my life. And I spent some of my life reading that book. So if I could have spent it enjoying it, I would have rather. So, Jason, if you like it, let's just say I'm room for you, Jason. Room for you and Tom. And it did win a Stoker Award. I don't know how much credence I put into Stoker Awards. I bought it against my will, if we're being honest. And Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr., you are nothing if not honest. I'm not going to say what you just wrote, Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. Art is subjective, man. Philip and I have been chatting during the games. We both realize we're not doing too well this year in fantasy football. He's writing and making movie deals. I have no excuse. Oh, I don't know if I can talk about Philip's schedule. But I have other things I got to talk about. But this was delayed a little bit. That's a bummer. But Paul Miller was doing quality control on this book and did not like the way 2 of the pieces of art were reproduced. Being somebody who's already read it, I'm not going to sweat it, right? That's fine. I do want my copy when it is up to Paul's standards. I don't know how you do that. You have a 750 copy print run. How do you change out 2 pieces of art without ruining the books? How do you get them out and put in new art? I don't understand how it works. Do you reprint the entire run and redo it all? I don't know. And I'm glad I don't know. But I want Paul Miller to make money because this is a very worthy book. This is an amazing book. I mean, I did a review on it, but I don't think I go in my book reviews, I'm either way too emphatic and therefore I say nothing, or I'm too reserved and then I seem like I don't like the book. This is an amazing book. It's awesome. So this is your thing. You know, this is what you got to do right now. These are all Earthling titles that you got to get on and get. Family is, like I said, a 3.5 star read. I've gotten to a point where it's clicking along better for me. At first, wasn't vibing with it, truth be told, but it's hit a moment. It's hit some things that I'm like, okay, I see where we're going. I'm digging it more, and I'm liking it. That actually, there's this one part that I'm like liking a lot, so I can recommend the book. Yeah, I am worried about reading a new author. Do you connect with that author? It's like going to a party and meeting somebody. Like, are you cool? I know I'm not, but are you cool? Because if you're cool, then I can't hang out with you because I'm not. So anyway, those are 3 books you should get right now. Paul Miller, Does It Up, Chef's Kiss, Chris Nurse art in it, or at least the cover. Thanks, Jeff. Haven is deep on my TBR list, but I will let you know how it hits. Yes, and I don't know. I haven't looked at the reviews on Goodreads. Find some of the art is subjectively bad. Better, yes. Huge bummer, but this book deserves to be 100% awesome. Sucks to those who have not read it, though. I know. For those who've been dealing with the hype and getting everybody excited about it, it does suck to have to like wait even longer. Just finished Exorcist House. I liked it. Thinking to do the prequel. Is that Genesis? Yes. Witchcraft. That's how you switch the art. He should sell the 750 copies, crappy ones also. I don't think he sent them back. He's getting them redone. So, yeah. If they're tipped in, you should be able to replace them without too much of an issue. But if they're bound, it causes a way bigger problem. Yeah. Oh, and how would Mitch know? Oh, maybe because he's a publisher now. I'm reading Family right now, only a few pages in, though. Family is a good read. The end of Family, right? Oh, I got to read. Oh, I can't wait till I get to it. Oh. Okay. Quit twisting my arm. I already got Family coming already. Miller doing yearly releases of Jones and Fracassi is epic. Yes, it is. But what is going on? Was so happy to finally read The Witch Tree last week. I could read precursor stories about Serafina all day. I know. That I loved Witch Tree. That is a sweet little gift to the fans. But what else do we got to talk about, Mitch? Where are we at? Where are we? Oh, let's see. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a little something called Rapture Publishing. Little something, rapturepublishing.com. And yeah, you are publishing. Now your logo gets cut off here, Mitch. Whoa, slow down. Your role, Jeff. Big difference between Chappies and a bound book. I know there is. Night of Long Knives. Yes, it's coming out soon. Tomorrow, get Night of Long Knives. No, but I'm talking about Rapture. There's this website called Rapture Publishing. I know the site was being a real pain to get the whole logo on there. On the mobile site, the whole thing is there. So go to the mobile. look, Beef Daddy's on the desktop. This is what you're going to get. But Rapture Publishing, you've got to go down here, join our newsletter for updates and pre-orders. Look, he already wants you to pay. There's nothing to buy yet. So put your email in there. I put mine in there. You get it. You'll sign up. Mitch, I signed up today. And they'll be on the newsletter. And then that is how you will be able to get some of this. Don't drink your chappies, though. When you get your chapbook for Rapture, do not drink it. It is a chapbook, and it is not a beer. So sign up for the newsletter, and we need something to buy, Mitch. Ed is coming soon. He's going to throw it your way. I happen to know what it is, and I'm going to want it. You're going to want it. I know there are more than a few people here that are going to want it. So go check that out, rapturepublishing.com. Very easy to remember, very easy to sign up. And I think the logo is super cool. It's a flapper. You got to see the whole logo. Go to the mobile site, sign up, see the logo. I know, Mitch, responsive design can be tough. Can you get the beer through the site as well? Can't sell beer on there, unfortunately. Oh, I'm hoping it's a Tyler Jones announcement through the newsletter, either Wednesday or Thursday, publicly on Friday. Promo coasters, I'll collect my consulting fee later. Yes, promo coasters would be interesting. So there's that. So go get it. Go sign up. Drop your name into there. Be ready for what's next. And enjoy it. I know I'm going to. I know I am definitely 100,000% going to enjoy what's next. Saw the cover art and everything. Sorry, Mitch. You showed it to me. I have to say I saw it. And stunning. Stunning. Boop. Boop. And I did not ruin the next chapbook with my signature in it. If you got the witch tree, I signed it. It should be a source of pride, but it's like deep, deep guilt. I jest. I jest because I Jeff. Would really like to see more folk horror art from the guy who did Witch Tree. Oh, are you not kidding me? Tell me about it. Hey, Mitch, I got the Veer beer, by the way. Can't remember if I told you. Everything intact and looking bootyful. You got to wash your mushrooms down with it. Mitch, I just signed up. Signed up. Yes, this is awesome. Ooh, I can get some more folk horror going. I saw it too, and it's awesome. Thanks for signing up, y'all. Jeff, Whiteout fixed that whole SIG issue for me. You just slap it on there. I did write the intro too, so you could maybe redact it, and then it looks like it's an official document. Actually, there are people that do poetry by redaction. So they redact things and come up with a poem based on the words that are left behind. It's a whole thing. I don't understand it. I don't understand a lot of poetry. I'm out of touch. Jeff wrote the legendary intro to the Witch Tree that basically said nothing and everything all at once. Yes. If you've not, well, it's not like I'm spoiling it, but I wrote an intro to a story you can't read until you read the book it's based on for an author that everybody was coming to see. So he didn't need an introduction. I think that's why Mitch asked me to do it. It's a story you can't recommend unless you read the book that's not even out yet. And it's an author we all know. Whoever's getting Witch Tree knows. It's Phil Fracassi. You need me to introduce them. I mean, it's not like, yeah. Gotta go. Take it easy, Jay Stones. Good night. Jeff, I used a ruler to remove that part. Oh, that's good. So when are we getting the dates for Fracassi Fest 2025? I got to do Jeff Con 2025 too. So that's October. And we'll talk about Fracassi Fest too. Kevin, I told Mitch what my availability is next year because we need them. Well, I read that intro that day. Lal, I haven't read the story yet. Good. I'm glad I pumped the brakes for you. So if we do Fracassi Fest, it would be early September, I think, according to Philip Fricassi's schedule, but it may be tough. I know. So we're going to talk about all of that. We will talk about all of that. This book is getting released tomorrow. So we're going to do this. If you didn't get it, I think it's too late to get a signed copy from Parnassus, but mine should be getting to me tomorrow. This book is amazing. Jason Pargin, happy release day tomorrow. That's a book I'm excited for. Why does he matter? I have Jeff Con and Fracassi Fest at the same time. Make it epic. One crazy weekend? I don't know. Damn you, Mitch. Now I have a year to switch my schedule around. Yeah. Have travel, will beer, Jeff Con. Yeah, well, we'll have the beer for you. So this is also cool. I don't know if you saw this. Francois did this chapbook with his art in it, and he surprised me with it. And this is pretty goddamn amazing. Now, he was at some fest over the weekend, and he'll be at King Con, and he only did 100 of these. So I wouldn't wait. I would actually email him or contact him on Facebook and say, I'm going to need that. But I will say, I think he has in the works a larger book, like a coffee table book. Because I told him, I go, I love this chapbook. I absolutely think it's amazing. And just the way, I haven't read the Brian James Freeman intro yet, but even the small format, the art is immersive and amazing, and I can only imagine what a larger book would do. And that's my only feedback. I'm like, I just wish it was bigger. So this needs to be bigger, and he's going to do it. He's going to do a bigger book. But if you're a Francois fan, you're going to need this. So I would reach out. He's going to sell them at King Con, but what if he only brings like 20 to King Con? Because he sold all the rest. You can't be mad at him if he brought it to the convention and then there wasn't, he only sold, he sold out in the first day. It's not his fault. What if he brought 50 and sold out in the first day? Same difference. People go there and they're like, oh, I got there too late. He already sold out. Well, if he sells out at 20 or sells out at 50, what does it matter? So I would hit him up. Definitely hit him up. Early September would be a big birthday for me. Uh-oh. Mike, some of them have children to raise. That Francois chapbook is beautiful. It is. Oh, coffee table book. I just went 6 to midnight. You got to get it, right? I mean, you need it. We are starting over. We adopted a 5-year-old granddaughter after raising 6 kids. We are now starting over. So I know. Oh, Mike, that's beautiful of you. Wow. Adoption and doing that is tremendous. Cheers to you, Mike. Cheers. My Taschen books would be put in storage immediately. I wonder if we could do a group order here for Francois' chapbook. I'm sure there are 25 of us that would buy one. I think he would do it. Jeff, you're itching my FOMO with that Francois Chappie, you got to get it. You got to reach out. I mean, I was going to hit him up when he announced it. He was doing this. I was going to hit him up and say, hey, I'll buy one. But then I thought he wants them for the fests. And I'll just wait to see if he has inventory remaining, and then I'll buy it. And then when he sent it to me and I saw it, I realized, wow, if I could go back in time and tell myself to not wait and order it because it's so cool, that's the advice I would give past Jeff. But I don't have to because I'm holding it, So that's the advice I would pass on to you. I would be a little impolite and say, hey, I know you want them for the conventions, but would you consider just, slipping one my way? Like maybe I saw it on the Jeff word. You really talked about how cool it was. Maybe I want one. I think that if I was where you are, I would at least reach out and just say, hey, look, I know you want them for the conventions, but keep me in mind or put me on a wait list or, but you see, now that I've seen it, I wouldn't want to be on a wait list with the big, well, maybe there'll be some left over. I'd kind of want to get that nailed down. That's just how I feel seeing it. Mike, hat tip to you and Stephanie. Yes, Stephanie too. Sorry, Mike, I neglected to mention. Yes, that's amazing for you. It's like a little choked up here, I mean, where is he selling those? I don't know. I would reach out to him on Facebook. I would reach out to Francois somehow. Write a message. I just wrote him. He has an event next month. He is selling them there and will let me know. Oh, so he's doing that. Okay. Yeah, his event next month is King Con. Okay. Well, now he's going to be pissed at me because Jeff, you're sending all these people. So Mike's saying he reached out and Francois said, I'll let you know when I have an inventory. But at least reach out and say I want to be on the wait list at the very least, because I think it is a very cool book. And then, yes, the coffee table book, if he's doing something like that, I thought he mentioned it on Facebook. I don't remember. But that would be, I would be like, yes, that all day. Mike, congrats. That's huge of you. And it's the imaginary friend stage. Read her some Anya Allborn bedtime stories. Or maybe not. Yeah, if he takes them to the con, he will sell them all there for sure. Yes. I'm still talking to him. He has an event. Oh, in Merrimack. Oh, are you going to go to that? That's the Merrimack Book Festival. I so want to go to that one year. Tell him you want one too. Yeah, I totally want to go there. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, yes, Anya Allborn, Good and Joyful Things. Levidian came through for me with the classic edition. I don't know if there are any left. Suntup was selling them for $80, which is a $50 discount. Womp womp. But I think those might be dinged. But Brian James Freeman hooked me up, and I'm thrilled I got it. I'm glad I didn't miss out on this. I have her other 3 Suntups in the numbered editions. I don't have this in the numbered edition, but at least I have it, and it is in my Allborn collection. I'm very thrilled to have it. So I just wanted, I did a video on it if you want to see it, but if Levidian has any more, or if Suntup has any at $80. So if you were interested in that book, I would go to Suntup first, then I would go to Levidian. You should go. You could make amends with Hans. I know. Poor Hans. Where is Hans? I don't think Hans is ever coming back. I don't think he ever wants to come back. If you see him, if you go, he is shocked that so many people want one. Why would he be shocked? Maybe he's holding them back out of humility. I don't know. Why would he be shocked? He's Francois goddamn Vaillancourt. Why would he be shocked? The stuff that's really cool. And like I said, my having it in hand made me love it even more, of course. Glad you got that one, Jeff. I need to read that soon. Yeah, Good and Joyful Things. So here's another thing I got. I didn't post the video on it yet, but this is a first edition, second printing of Mystery Walk. And I am so happy I got it. It's a beautiful edition. I'm going to get, and it was like $15. Dirt cheap. I'm telling you, I put it in my newsletter. I know, some of you might have already seen it, but it is so cool to think that right now you can go, and if you're going to Birmingham in December, you can get inexpensive first editions of McCammon titles for cheap and get him to sign them. And then you get funky artist photos like that. And, they'll go up in value. Sure. They'll go up. But you'll also have you'll seen Robert McCammon sign it right in front of you. And it'll make the book that much more special. And I just think it's a buyer's market right now for Robert McCammon titles. I could have gotten a first edition, but this was in amazing shape in the photos. And the first edition first print I saw on eBay they were asking for a lot more money, and it looked a lot worse. I don't care if it's a second printing. Honestly, I'm not going to be. It's not like it's going to leave my collection. It's going to be a signed Robert McCammon, and it'll be on my shelf all until I'm in the ground, or in a ditch, or in an urn, or whatever they do with my biomaterial. But I'm thrilled to have it. So it's just like a thing. I'm not secondary, Terry, unless it's a buyer's market and you can get it for cheap on eBay or wherever. Then I'm all for the secondary market. And if you go there and you get a book for $20 and you get them to sign it, suddenly it's a $150 book if you want to sell it. But, that's not my goal. It's not my aim. Francois is in his prime. What if I PayPal Francois for it out of the blue? Guilt him into selling you one. I gave you money. That's what I said. I told him people love his work. That remark he did for me on the fawn, yes, is amazing. I have a bunch of his stuff. Yes. His remark on fawn with the gold leaf, and you shared that. Amazing. His remark for me in Child Alone with Strangers, phenomenal. Like he's amazing. So congratulations. Can't wait for the version soonish. Yes. Yes, Stephen Dwayne Ellison Jr. There's a rumor that Mystery Walk will walk into our lives as a limited edition in the future. There's a rumor out there. A rumor. Don't have to let it go in this realm. Take it with you, Jeff. Yes, burn me on a pyre of my books. If I wrote a book to be illustrated, I'd kill to have Francois do it. Yes. Anyone else get their boys' Bible from Mitch? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I know Tim got it. I know a few other people got it. I don't want to talk about that because then I'm going to get FOMO. I'm going to be very upset. It's funny. I had notes. I just looked down and I had notes about what I wanted to talk about. I didn't get it, Stephen Dwayne Ellison Jr. Well, it sounds like if you bought it and you didn't get it, of course, I'm not entitled to it, but I thought we were friends. You're not entitled to it. Yeah, money makes you entitled to things, I guess. That's gonna hurt that I don't have that on my shelf. Trust. Trust. Anyway, congrats to those who did. Damn it, I've been crying for 2 weeks after seeing that. Oh no. Yeah, see, so I can't talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. But I looked at my notes and I was gonna talk about Curious King's Hyperion Cantos, the Dan Simmons stuff. It looks amazing. I don't give enough shout outs to Curious King. And it sucks that I just looked at my notes. It was number one on my list here to talk about. And I didn't. And I didn't talk about it. Also didn't. And so Night of Long Knives tomorrow. That's your homework. You got to get Night of Long Knives tomorrow. If there's a parting thought, that's what I'm going to leave you with. But then I'm going to say other things. So it's really not a parting thought. I was going to rant about Chismar. I was going to rant about McCammon's Teacup. So the series based on Stinger is now like Robert McCammon's fate. I think Hunter Goatley wrote this. The series loosely based on Stinger is going to air October 10th. So, you know what? He got paid and he's getting exposure. So it works out for Robert McCammon. I never fault a filmmaker or an artist or anybody who takes a written work and translates it into another medium. More power to you. It is not the book. The book's still on the shelf. I get to take it down and reread it if I want. And that is unchanged. So have at it. Make whatever you want. I'm not going to like it if it sucks or if it conflicts. So, but that's fine. I don't have to like it. I like the book. So, hold on. I'm going to do this little thing I want to do to end the night. A little something, little sip. My ice is all melted though, so I didn't have any ice. So yeah, so that I want to talk about that too. I want to rant about Richard Chismar doing this. I got his tour dates. Maybe I'll throw that in a newsletter next week. His tour dates. So Jesse, I've already activated Jesse Garcia to go get memorials signed by Richard Chismar and ask him where our books are while he's at the signing line. That would be fun to see the reaction. But of course, I don't want to cause any issues for Jesse, but it would be funny. So I was going to talk about that. I was going to talk about this memorials bookmark he pimped Glenn Chadbourne's work to do, but we didn't have time. I'm glad I'm not the only one feeling the FOMO pain. It looks like a few of us can suffer together. Cheers. And that's a great segue. My bad. Didn't mean to pour my salt. Teacup could be good. Who knows? It's true. It could be loosely based on Stinger, a book I DNF'd, by the way. So it could be loosely based on Stinger and be excellent in other ways. Very true. Good way to look at it. All good. When life gives me salt, I make margaritas. So here's, I just want to end the show with a toast to everybody who's going through the storm. You'll be better on the other side. That's that sip. But I also like to give another sip to Mike Hughes for stepping up in a child's life and taking on that noble, wonderful, beautiful responsibility of adoption. So cheers to you, Mike. And of course, those toasts are brought to you by Kevin, who hit me up with the Ardbeg Scotch. Wonderful. Best way to spend a Monday night. Have a great week, Kevin. I'll send my squire to ransom my armor and sword after you've unhorsed me this week. Yes. Fantasy football. Yes. I had no choice. Have to take care of them. Well, that says it all right there, Mike. Easy choice. Says it all. You don't shirk from the beautiful work. Nice toast. Thank you. Good night, everyone. See you online next week. I will see you. Thank you all for being here. Wonderful time as always. And I will be back. And hopefully you'll have your Night Along Knives orders in, and we can talk about getting that in our shelves and in our eyeballs and in our brains. So have a great week. Have a great week, everybody.